Hello again, and welcome back to the channel, everyone. With the recent release of Triangle Strategy on Steam, there is a renewed interest in the game, as seen in the recent poll I did on the channel. So, this video is going to cover 5 tips to get you started in Triangle Strategy, but they can also be used all the way through the end game as well. So let's get started with number 1. At the bottom of the screen during battles, you can see the turn order for every unit, and highlighting a unit on the map will show you where it is in the turn order as well. Knowing when an enemy will go can help you know when you can advance safely or when you should hold your ground. If your unit is going to be surrounded by enemies who all go next in the turn order, you can let them come to you instead and give you time to reinforce your lone unit. On the other hand, if turn order shows that only 1 out of 3 enemies, let's say, is going next, and then 2 more of your units are up, you'll have time to surround and finish off that enemy. You can then be better positioned and prepared to fight the other 2 when their turns come around. These are just 2 quick examples of using turn order. There are many more depending on different situations you may find yourself in.
I will end this.
Right along with watching turn order comes positioning. I would argue that Triangle Strategy has some of the best mechanics that I have seen that have to do with positioning. The combination of the backstab mechanic and the follow-up attack mechanic, and the fact that the AI will brutally take advantage of these as well, sets up some truly difficult choices sometimes. A good strategy in the beginning, and honestly all the way through, is to stay back on the first turn and let the enemy move into your range rather than the other way around. This can set you up to take advantage of follow-up attacks and backstabs easily while protecting yourself from the same. After the first turn, just remember to keep your units close to each other and keep their backs either to their allies or to walls or cliffs where they can't be hit from behind. You won't always be able to do this, but you should try to do it as much as possible. Even with using the above tips and being as careful as you can, it is likely that you will still lose a unit from time to time. You shouldn't be afraid to lose a unit, so long as you have thinned the enemy ranks a bit first. Once you get to where you have more units on the field than your enemy, the battle usually tips heavily in your favor due to you having more turns and actions now than they do. Sometimes it can be good to sacrifice one of your units to draw in enemies for AoEs from your mages, or to take out an enemy that has been particularly annoying, like a mage or an archer. If you can take out 3 of theirs at the cost of 1 of yours, it can be worth it. The only real downside to your unit going down is that they won't gain any more experience from the current battle. But experience isn't that hard to gain, so I wouldn't let that stop you.
Let's go then.
Now for something more specific. If the turn order works out, or you can manipulate it with your quietest points, you can use archers to get multiple follow-up attacks in the same round. Normally, you put a unit on each side of an enemy and you get 1 follow-up attack out of it. But, if you line up an archer behind one of those 2 units, you can get a second follow-up out of one of them. This can be great for getting off a lot of free damage, so long as the enemy is there for all 3 of your unit's turns. Finally, the last thing I would say to someone starting out is to keep spare saves at every exploration phase. There is information and knowledge that you get from speaking to different people or finding notes in these phases. This is stuff that can be missed and can lock you out of certain dialogue or even choices later on in the chapter. Having a backup save so you can find something you missed will save you headaches later on. Trust me. Hopefully, if you're just starting out, or even if you're a veteran player, these tips can help you as you work your way through the battles to come. I will be doing another video soon going over more specific strategies and combos that you can do in battles, which will be similar to my other videos on Triangle Strategy. Speaking of, if you'd like to see those videos, here's the first one, and the second one is linked at the end of it. Please remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe and turn on notifications if you'd like to see my future content. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep on gaming.
I shall try